What's up, everybody? This is Matt, owner of Tye-Dyed Iguana, and I want to give you some tips and tricks with your Mercury Vapor Bulb. If you don't know what a Mercury Vapor Bulb, that is a combo bulb that does both heat and UVB. A very efficient bulb, honestly probably our favorite bulb. We use it on virtually every diurnal animal in the store. So I've got one right here in our bearded dragon. What's cool about these is on a 40 breeder, they give us that perfect balance of temperature and UVB output. But there are some tips and tricks with this bulb that really do matter. For starters, your Mercury Vapor Bulb operates a little bit differently than a standard light bulb. Your standard light bulb uses a filament that it passes electricity through and it basically glows, and that's where you get your light from. Mercury Vapor is different. It has a vapor that will actually ignite and illuminate. So these bulbs must be hung completely vertically when they're running. So if I take this bulb and I clamp it at like a 45-degree angle, it'll drastically shorten the life of the bulb and it may not even turn on. So make sure your Mercury Vapor Bulb is always straight up and down, completely vertical. I like to use a lamp stand with my Mercury Vapor Bulb, and that's so that I can get the lid on and off without disturbing the bulb much. The next tip on this, and this is very common, especially if you're new to the Mercury Vapor Bulb, if you turn them off and then turn them right back on, they don't come back on right away. So notice this bulb is on, I turn it off, turn it back on, oh my God, my bulb blew out. We hear that a lot. So here's what's going on. Mercury Vapor Bulbs, they have basically a little safety switch inside of them. They're these two pieces of metal that are touching. When they get hot, those pieces of metal expand apart, and that's what allows the bulb to turn on and function. It won't turn back on until that metal cools off and touches again. So it takes about 20 to 30 minutes depending on how hot the bulb is. So this particular bulb, I'm gonna leave the switch in the on position. In about 20 to 30 minutes, those pieces of metal will come back together, it'll touch, it'll reignite, and it'll fire up the bulb. In other words, if you're running a Mercury Vapor Bulb, don't panic unless it's been in the on position for at least 30 minutes. Then panic. I'm just kidding. You don't actually have to panic. If you bought it from us, we can warrant them for 6 months, no questions asked. You just bring it in, as long as the receipt's within 6 months, we'll send it back and deal with the warranty and give you a new bulb on the spot. Outside of 6 months, the manufacturer generally wants you to go back to them. So keep it vertical. If you turn it on and then turn it off, it won't come right back on. And then lastly, with the Mercury Vapor Bulb, the last tip here is gonna have to do with the fixture. So this deep dome fixture, it's very tall, and we need that due to the size of the bulb. In fact, I'm gonna turn this over. I turned the switch off just in case. You can see it's a very large bulb, but there is one caveat to this fixture. Let's make sure that's on. And the caveat is that this fixture is not very well ventilated. So we get a lot of heat buildup, and we have these little holes up top which allow the heat to dissipate. But what can sometimes happen, not will, this is a big can, a big hypothetical, sometimes we can get a lot of heat buildup and it'll cause the bulb to separate from the socket and basically break. There is a solution to that, so we'll take a little walk. That was a really quick walk. So here is the solution to that, and it is the wire light fixture. So you can see it right here on the picture. We'll go ahead and pop it open, but don't stop this video yet because there's a caveat to the fixture as well. So wire light fixture. So obviously heat buildup is not an issue with this. I have found that with the wire light fixture, your bulb will almost never break. I mean, it'll last significantly longer. But here are the caveats to all of this. For starters, the deep dome itself is significantly less expensive. A deep dome will run you at a retail price of about $30. The wire light, and we have two of them side by side, we have this particular one at $47 and this one at $25. And you're probably saying, well, why the heck would I spend that much more money on the bigger wire light fixture? Here's the caveat, and this comes down to your personal risk profile. So this particular wire light fixture made by ZoomEd maxes out at 150 watts. Your average Mercury Vapor Bulb is 160 watts. So it begs the question, can I run a 160 watt bulb in this fixture? Can you? Sure. Should you? Probably not. It's not rated for it. This particular guy, made by Exoterra, runs up to 250 watts. So there's a significant price difference, but this one is guaranteed to be safe for that higher wattage, whereas this one is not guaranteed to be safe. So again, like I said, it's all based on your personal risk profile. So your tips, once again, with your Mercury Vapor Bulb are keep it vertical. If you turn it on and off, don't panic. Run the wire light fixture if you want to prolong the life of your bulb. And then lastly, and this ties into the on and off piece, if you get a brownout or a power outage, your bulb will not come back on right away. It's no different than shutting it off and turning it right back on, so don't panic. Remember, 30 minutes with it in the on position. If it doesn't come back on, you bought it from us, bring it back. If not, reach out to the manufacturer because they all carry a warranty. And those are your tips and tricks for the Mercury Vapor bulb.